The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
Hey, you know what, guys? This right here, this rambling, boring conversation containing already made-before observations, this could be a podcast.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Really? A podcast? Don't you have to be some sort of whiz kid to do those?
Definitely not. Anyone with a computer can make one.
Well, that's it. We're anyone. Let's do a podcast from right here in the booth. Who's in?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of PSVG. It is I, your host, Kevin, and with me this week is Seth and Josh. How are we doing, guys?
Doing well.
I heard you're a man alone.
I am. I am a bachelor for one more night, and with 3 kids in the house, and I was home all day with a 2-year-old.
Oh boy!
So that was exciting.
Bless you. God bless you. I'm sure you've played a lot, but we'll get to that briefly.
I have, yeah.
So we'll get to that soon. Josh, so how you doing, buddy?
Oh man, I had a little G Fuel heart attack scare earlier this morning. Still not clear on if I did something wrong or if I'm just an old man.
They didn't tweet back, did they? They haven't said anything yet.
No, they're probably scared of an incoming lawsuit.
Don't do G Fuel crack rocks, kids.
G Fuel, what is it called? G Fuel
crystals.
They come in a little tiny vial. I still think it's one serving. I took one serving and then I thought I was full of energy. 6 a.m. have to take the kid to daycare, ready to go. And then I went to a funeral today on the Cape, so all day I've been like dizzy and my heart has been beating out of my chest. My heart rate on my Apple Watch has been anywhere from 60 to 150 all over the place, up and down. And then we were standing at the thing after the funeral and I'm like, I have to sit down because I thought I was going to pass out. And then I stood back up and I'm like, I just got to get to my car.
Yeah, this is terrible. Yeah, so hey, everybody listening, you probably know how much many of us have an affinity for G Fuel. They came out with these little, I guess, Pop Rocks kind of candy type thing, I guess you could say it is. Like Josh said, they come in a vial, and it does say one serving because I did see that. But then I do recall also seeing them say like, "Hey, pop a few when you need a rush." Well, it's like, okay, well,
the rush is there. The rush is real.
Yeah, not safe at all. But anyway, before we really get into the show, we have to take a quick second and thank all of our amazing Patreon producers over at patreon.com/makeusbetter. So we have our mighty platinum executive producers, Mr. Corey Hicks over at twitch.tv/chicks_18 and Mr. Mark Moody over there on youtube.com/outoflives doing the hard work. Sorry again, Mark. I know you put out the call for somebody to help you out and do some recording today, the day we're recording this, but unfortunately the time zone difference strikes again and we were all at work. So hopefully we can link up and do something soon. But thank you for your support. Gold executive producers. We have new ones, everybody. Edwin Calo over in Discord. Thank you. Josh Borbone is now a gold executive producer. Mike BC and Panache Malloy. Yeah, sorry, don't listen to the show. So thank you, everybody there. And then our executive producers, Sean Capri, Devin Tyus, Kyle Haiman, Brendan Myers, Tony Hutchinson, Donnie Reece, Stephen Iafrate, Caro, Underwood, Dante, Bellini Jr., Jared Gauthier, Kevin Austin, Tammi Ryan, Robert Miller, Tim Aulph, Martini Jean, and David Ray. Thank you, everybody. And thank you to every listener, period. Because of you, we are hard at work right now. Well, Donnie is really, and icing his hand at this point, hard at work making the next set of changes to PSVG. The individual show feeds that we promised are now already in the works. Initially, we had a goal set for like mid-October. I think Donnie wanted to do it, and then he decided to just do all from the Nintendo Shack today. So it's in the process now. The new feeds are coming, so that way you can subscribe to each show individually if you'd like, or just keep using the master feed to get all of your gaming goodness in one place. It's up to you, but this way we can market our great shows to a wider audience that might only be interested in tabletop games or Nintendo or PlayStation. We want to make sure we're appealing to the masses. Now, the future of this show, specifically PSVG, the flagship show, I have realized that over the past couple months, as our shows are growing and getting bigger and finding their footing so to speak. This show has gotten to be a little stale. I feel personally, it's just me. So I'm going to kind of experiment with the format of this show going forward, kind of try out some different things, stretch my legs, see what we can come up with. So everybody listening, if you want to give me some feedback or even a tip or something you'd like to see us do, please tweet out at me at PSVG Kevin and let me know your thoughts so we can make sure we're making a show or a product that you guys are interested and entertained by at least. So with that being said, everybody, let's get down to business. Let's talk a little bit of what you playing, brought to you by Fluxdeposed. So Seth, being the bachelor you have been for the past couple of days, as I mentioned, I hope you've found some time to play some games. So, sir, what have you been playing?
I have. Of course, earlier this week, I wrapped up Spider-Man, the main story. Still want to go back and get through the platinuming of the Spider-Man, which hopefully will happen over the next month or so. We recorded a spoiler cast for PSXP that will release Wednesday, a couple days after this episode drops. Where myself, Justin, Nathan, and Kyle kind of go over the ins and outs of Spider-Man and what we thought. Other than that, the release of Forza Horizon 4 this week, even though I don't have an Xbox, it got me wanting that kind of a game. And obviously the Crew 2 is an open world arcade racing game, and it's on sale this week because one of their expansions dropped this week. So I sold a couple games and bought the Crew 2 to get my Forza fix. And then other than that, I also started NASCAR Heat 3. Actually, just before I got on here, I was playing some online. I was trying to stream. I don't know if there might be a video up on YouTube of me playing online.
I saw it was there. I don't know if it stayed or if there's any issues, but I did see you streaming it. Yeah.
So I was streaming. I got 3 races in online. Online is a mess, like in a good way.
Okay.
I'm used to playing Gran Turismo Sport Online and like F1, and where everybody in general is pretty respectful because you're kind of graded on how well you race against each other and you don't ram each other. NASCAR, if you've ever watched a NASCAR race, a regular race can be a little bit of a demolition derby. So the online races can be a bit of a demolition derby. So, and I'm terrible at any road courses. So I was, Sonoma is a big road course that I raced tonight. This weekend in real life, there's the Charlotte Roval race where it's a half oval, which is probably going to be a major wreck fest. And then, so I raced that, and then I raced Talladega, and there's just a lot of chaos. It's a lot of fun. Except for in my last race tonight, I was running pretty well in about 7th or 8th place. And then I just got, this is going to sound dirty, I just got ran from behind and lost a whole bunch of spots. So it was rough. So that's what I've been doing. I've been playing racing games and a little bit of Spider-Man on the Switch. I've been into FIFA 18 for some reason.
Okay.
Through that. It's the best portable soccer game I've ever played. So that's and today during nap time, you would think that I would play some games during nap time. But instead, I painted a landscape.
I saw that. Yeah.
I put the picture up in our Discord. My wife and I, our 10th anniversary is coming up in a few weeks. And I've never been an artist. I'm not one for painting. The painting and artistry is in her side of the family. But I thought for our 10th anniversary, I would try and do a couple paintings and see what I could do. So I did one a couple weeks ago based on the Kandinsky concentric circles, only I did concentric hearts. Mm-hmm. And then I tried a landscape. It's a sunset over some mountains. So if you're in our Discord, you can go on there and you can see it in the community photos. You'd have to scroll up past the picture of Tammi and
Nasty Boots
celebrating Tammy's birthday. So it's not that I'm not exactly posting it for praise, because I think it's a pretty cool painting. Like I posted my picture of the painting, and then like the next post is Nasty Boots and Tammi celebrating, and my little post just got drowned.
I did see it. I did see your painting though, and I will say kudos to you, because it's tough. Having been married for a while myself too, it's hard to come up with new ideas for anniversaries, stuff like that. So I think I applaud what you're doing, because that's something that's number one, it's a great idea. Number two, it's very unique, and it's not something that you can just go and purchase. So it means a little bit more for sure. And three, you definitely have more talent, I think, than I do for sure, because I can't do all that stuff. So.
It's just watching. I found a YouTube video and just followed instructions. I started with Bob Ross.
Okay.
And then decided that his style of painting was going to be too messy for me, because he uses oil paints and he's flicking his brush all over the place. But there are people on YouTube, just like with video games, you can literally watch paint dry on YouTube.
I've seen people on Twitch actually do art or arts and crafts on Twitch too, and they'll just, it's crazy. Cool.
I've been watching a lot of videos and have found a couple that I liked, and I actually think now my wife and I are going to do some of that together. So
fun. That's good.
Fun activity.
My wife likes doing those. She does like the wine and paint ones with the girls, so she likes that stuff too. But I've never done it. But
you should.
Maybe I will. I'll try it. So for me, all right, we'll jump into me. So I'll go with the real life stuff first. Roofing Simulator 2018. As Josh knows, we've been hit with a lot of rain lately over here in New England finally, and it started Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we had a brief break till today. I think is what
1 day break.
Yeah, we had like a 1 day break. So I noticed the first night of the storms, my ceiling in my bedroom was dripping, which is never a good sign. So I was like, well, not much I could do. It was like pouring rain. It was like 11 o'clock at night. My house doesn't have an attic. It has like that crawl space. However, where the crawl space access is, it's near impossible to get into, let alone for a man of my size or stature to be able to get up into there. Eventually I did get in there enough to see what was going on. I could not see any dripping at all. So I'm like, all right, well, step one, let me get a tarp in there. So because I couldn't climb up there, I put it on a broom and kind of like pushed it over to the space where the dripping would have been occurring, just to get some coverage there. And then I was like, well, I have to do something else. I have to do more. So 11 o'clock at night in the pouring rain, I'm on my roof, trying to put a tarp down. Now it's obviously slippery. One side of my roof is not that high up. It's probably about 15 to 18 feet high to get access on one side, which is no problem. That's why I set the ladder up and I climb up it, But the other side where the leak was, the drop off on that side is probably a good 25 to 35 foot drop, maybe even more on that side. So I couldn't go all the way down to the edge in the rain for fear that I was going to slide off in the pouring rain and pitch darkness. So I bought a tarp, nailed it closer towards the middle of the roof, and then actually tied weights to the other end and kind of just slid it down the roof. So it just kind of like rolled down and weighed down. Cool. I thought I was all set. Was going to go back up on the roof once the rain stopped and kind of take a look at the shingles, see what I can do. I already bought replacement shingles and stuff to do maintenance there. Well, that day off where we finally had lapse in rain was yesterday, which was the open house for my daughter's school. So did not get a chance to go on the roof then until it was dark out again. But realizing last night, right before the kids go to bed, they always go out to the kitchen. They ask Alexa what the weather is tomorrow, so they pick out their clothes for school the next day. And Alexa notified me that there's a flash flood warning that started at 4 a.m. this morning as we're recording it. So I was like, well, I need to do something again because this is nuts. So I was like, let me go up on the roof and make sure everything's okay while it's not raining. It was still dark, but it wasn't raining. So I go up and I'm investigating things, and all the shingles look good. So I don't know where this leak is coming in, but I did notice the gutters, which my house has like the gutter guards, those little protectors that go over the top, but apparently they don't work. I never went up there to clean them since I moved there. We've had the house for 3 years because I've had those gutter guards. But yeah, there's plants growing out of them. So I took those off, cleaned out the gutters in the dark, but not in the rain. So it was okay. And kind of noticed that the tarp had blown off as well. So I had to get the tarp. I nailed the tarp all the way around, cleaned out the gutters. No leaks today, knock on wood. So hopefully this weekend, if the weather cooperates, I can go back up on the roof and see if I can figure out something to do that. But yeah, just harrowing and not fun being in the pouring rain on the roof. Game wise, I too finished Spider-Man, the story mode as well. I've not platinumed it. I will probably pick at it, but the problem is I have so many other things to play right now that I was like, okay, I'm so happy with the way it ended. I don't want to kill myself with this game. I'm just going to go on to the next thing. I know, like you said, you recorded the spoiler cast, so I'm not going to go too in depth with it. I absolutely love this game. It is definitely a candidate for Game of the Year for me. I think the story was fantastic, even though it takes liberties with the Spider-Man history, which is totally fine because we saw that in the Batman games, and it was totally fine with them too. Like, it's A-okay. I am not going to jump on the DLC for now. I'm going to wait till they're all released and then visit Spider-Man again and kind of play all those back to back to back and give me like another, hopefully, 10, 15, maybe even 20 hours worth of stuff. And then maybe I'll try and do the platinum at that time. So once again, if you have a PS4 and you have not played Spider-Man, you're doing a disservice to yourself. You should be playing this game. This is a must play, hands down. Still working my way through Undertale on the Switch. I'm trying to love this game, man, and it's okay at best. I know Donnie is sending you his copy, Seth, so you can get to experience it. I want to hear your thoughts here. I think, and I said this to Donnie, Donnie even commented about this on Nintendo Shack, I think the issue with Undertale is it's so heralded and touted as such a fantastic game that it cannot live up to that hype. It absolutely cannot. It is an okay game. It's just not that great of a game. And but I'm playing through, and I will stick with it because I know it's not that long, so I will just keep going with it there. Arena of Valor dropped on Switch, which is a MOBA game very similar to League of Legends. I did play it briefly, so I won't talk about it too much, but I did want to know out there, we do have a Make Us Better guild out there. So if you look up MUG for Make Us Better guild, I guess we couldn't do MUB, so we had to do MUG. Join that up there if you haven't. Played some Arena of Valor with some of us there from the community, and let's just have some fun there. Once I finished the Spider-Man, I was able to finally jump on Shadow of the Tomb Raider over on Xbox, get that started. I played, I think, the first hour maybe. So far, I'm digging it. I like it. I know some people have commented the longer they played it, it kind of wore out its welcome a little bit. Sean Capri, I heard that. And Josh is nodding his head, so it sounds like he agrees as well. But I am going to give it its fair shake. Already, just from what I've played, I'm enjoying this one better than the last one, which I did not finish because I just didn't care for it as much. But we'll see as time goes on how I'm liking it. But that's the next game for me. And then last today, I'm way behind, but it shows that I'm finally breaking that hold Fortnite has on me. I just started the new season today of Fortnite with the new events and stuff, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But that's it for me. So, Josh, it is your turn, sir. What you playing?
I was kind of hoping that you went to me before you because I was just going to read your entire list as if it was my list and see what happens when it was your turn. I wanted to comment, Seth was talking about the racing aspect of like how chaos can ensue in certain races or you're rewarded for being good. One of my favorite things in Forza is when you're playing, whether it's Forza Horizon 3 or Forza Horizon 4, they have these things called drivatars, and basically all your friends, like Kevin's in drivatars, Coach, Donnie, Sean, anyone who I'm a friend with who has the game or has even played like a demo, their gamer tag will show up in my game. That game takes like ghost data. It remembers how you drove, and it will simulate how the cars drive in the map. So like Coach, he intentionally tries to ram people when he drives. So whenever I'm in a race with Coach's car,
that must be why I don't like Coach.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, Coach.
He tries to sideline whoever he's in, which I think is really funny, but it's smart. I think that it's really cool that it takes your habits and incorporates them. That's one of the reasons why another reason why I really like that game. But yeah, I'm jealous. Everyone has the Ultimate Edition. I'm sitting here waiting on Game Pass.
I'm waiting too. I'm with you.
There's no reason to buy that game if you have Game Pass. I mean, if I had Game Pass, I wouldn't. Does that come with the Ultimate Edition?
Yeah, only the Ultimate Edition.
Oh, you can't buy
it now. You might be able to buy it. You might be able to buy it individually, but right now you can't because no game.
Oh. Yeah,
so I don't know.
I would definitely be purchasing the Bond cars.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're affordable. If they are, I'll probably do that on day one. Yeah, what else? I also have finished Spider-Man. I will say, Kyle and I have been talking about it on Board with Video Games, and I 100%ed it a couple days ago.
Oh, nice.
Which was huge for me, but I didn't platinum it. So I don't think it's spoiling if I say Taskmaster's in it, which I just said it, so it's a spoiler. But what you do for him, you have challenges, and I didn't. To get the platinum, you don't need to get gold in all of his challenges. However, to unlock all the suits and all the gear, all the gadgets, you need challenge tokens.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point where I think I did the math, and I need to get gold in every one just to get enough challenge tokens to get every suit.
If that's gonna be a thing, I'm not gonna get the platinum.
Can you talking? I'm so close to platinuming. I'm only 2 achievements away, and one of them is to get all the suits. And I'm looking, and one suit is 6 challenge tokens, and I've gotten silver, I think, on every challenge, and I'm still at 0 challenge tokens.
You can't just redo it and get.
You
don't get anything for redo. That's what I was going to ask you. I was like, can you not redo it and get more? I'm not platinuming it then. So
I'm hoping with the Black Cat DLC it adds more challenge tokens and more suit. So I can challenge tokens. I downloaded Arena of Valor. I have played it on my phone. I'm interested to see how much it's upgraded on the Switch. So I'll probably try that. Maybe I'll jump on tonight before I go to sleep after this. I am playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Kyle and I have been talking about like my affinity for Lara Croft isn't shared by most people, which is fine. Yep. But like I was really excited to start this game. The game started off strong for me, but I'm probably like maybe 6 hours in, and it's getting real shallow real quick. Like her character isn't developing anymore, and this isn't a spoiler, but you have like a guy who's with you, like your buddy from the last game, but you're always splitting up. He's never with you, and what's the point? I get he's there then? I get he's a supporting character, but like he stays in a room while I go into a tomb every time. Like, what is the point of this? So anyway, it's basically, I shouldn't be complaining about tombs in Tomb Raider, but really it's tomb after tomb. That's really when only anything really interesting is happening, is leading up to the tomb, and then you do the tomb and it's like, okay, climbing puzzles, and then puzzles in the tomb, and then getting out. So like you're only living like that Tomb Raider combat in between tombs. Donnie did hint on PSVG a little like 2 weeks ago. There is like a big event that happens in the story, which just happened for me, which definitely changes it up. So it might get better for me. Who knows? I'm still enjoying the gameplay. It looks great. I'm just hoping the character like gets fully fleshed out, because I love the voice actress. As an actress herself, she's a really great actress. So I love what she's been doing for the character. So yeah, we'll see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it gets better. It went from good to meh.
Good to
make sense.
Is the big event when the Sinister Six shows up? They invade the tomb of the.
That would be a more welcome surprise.
She would not win that battle. No way.
It's not like the best surprise in the world.
No.
In fact, I'm a little worried about where it's going to take the game.
Okay.
I think there was an Uncharted thing that was similar. That kind of bummed me out when it happened. Maybe in Uncharted 3. Or I'm misremembering. So who knows? I'm trying to think of what else I've been playing, though. I downloaded the Soul Calibur 6 demo. I should be able to play it.
I did also.
I'm excited to try it.
I've never played a Soul Calibur game.
Oh, really? I'm a fan. So I'm hoping it maintains. They got a little off track in the last game. So I'm hoping they bring it back to like the Soul Calibur I enjoy. But it's certainly no Injustice. It's definitely a totally different combat style.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you get to play as a Witcher, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's it, I think. I did want to I did talk about this on Board with Video Games, and I feel like it's a game that I'm not going to like review or talk about it, but if you shop at Target, there's a game called Spirits of the Wild. It's by Mattel. They have like this new branded line of not just family, like Parker Brother kind of games. It's $15, which is a pretty good price for what you're getting. It's a 2-player game. It's short. It's 30 minutes. It's for ages 10 plus. If you want to hear about it, it's on one of our podcasts and it's on our Instagram if you want to look at pictures of it. But it's a phenomenal game. Just another example of board games kind of making a little bit more mainstream and available to people in the vein of like Super Mario Level Up and stuff like that, where you're seeing more diverse board game selections for affordable prices. So look into it. It's a great game.
I'm trying to find the... Oh, okay, there it is. I was going to say, I knew I saw the picture, but I couldn't remember what it looked like. So I've been looking for it. I haven't seen it at my Target.
Yeah, Spirits of the Wild. It's a very cool premise, and the pieces are great. The quality of the game is perfect for $15.
That's so funny. I just saw you did post about Spiralopolis. You'd think I would have known that you... We talked about that before the show started. That's funny.
Yeah.
I had one other game that I dipped my toe into. The beta for NBA Playgrounds 2K.
Oh,
NBA
really?
2K Playgrounds 2.
Yeah.
The beta came out today, and I signed up for it, and I got in. And I got into a match. It's only online beta. Mm-hmm. And the matchups, the one that I got into, it was me and one other real person, 2-on-2 against 2 other real people. And it played fine. It's kind of more of the same. It doesn't dunk when I want it to dunk. It just is a little finger roll layup thing like it did in the first game. Halfway through the game, the connection dropped, and then I could never connect again. Now I understand that's what a beta is for. Sure. They're testing all of this stuff, so I don't really hold that against them. But I was down on the game based on my experience with the first game, and this did not sell me on it. So I might try it again. It's live all weekend. So I'll probably try and jump in again. But my initial thoughts are, if you didn't care for the first one, this probably doesn't add anything for you.
Yeah, for me, the best part of the first one was Shaq Fu. So
I started that, but I never played it.
It is fun. It's fun. It's not a great game, but it's fun. To me, it was worth the money more than NBA Playgrounds also. Anyway,
for the price of one.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and I finally beat the first boss in Dead Cells. So
that
was
there you go.
Major accomplishment for me because I have been struggling.
Yeah, I finally gave up on that game. It's a great game. I like it a lot, but I'm just not good.
It gives me that like how I can repetitively play Destiny and Destiny 2. Like I can just jump at the missions. I feel the same way about Dead Cells. I don't mind grinding because it's a Metroidvania, like a roguelike. Sorry, every level feels different every time you play it, even though it's familiar. So I like just like jump into bed and I'll play a run, and then I'll die and then I'm like, okay, time for bed, or I'll trade in all my cells and then stop it and pick up where I left off the next time I turn it on. So I'm still really loving on that game, even though it's very difficult.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, so let's move on. Let's jump into this new segment I have here. We're going to buckle your seatbelt, guys. Strap on your helmets. I'm about to fire up the Wayback Machine. We're going to take a visit back into gaming's past.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit.
It's alive! Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
So, breaking news today, actually, as we're recording this, Grammy Award-winning EDM artist Skrillex and the internationally renowned singer-songwriter Hikaru Utada, who is known for writing at least stateside-wise, the theme songs to the Kingdom Hearts series. Simple and Clean was the big one, I think, for the first one. They kind of done some remixes and stuff there. Skrillex is a longtime fan of Kingdom Hearts, and he's proclaimed that numerous times. So Square Enix had reached out to him, and the initial plan was he was going to remix the theme song that has already been released Don't Think Twice from Utada. The two musicians actually talked about it and were kind of developing the remix and decided instead they want to do a whole new and original song to be the theme song for Kingdom Hearts 3. So that track, Face My Fears, will launch alongside Don't Think Twice, which you can hear on the last trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3. Will release on January 18th. It's just probably good news, I think, here. Skrillex is kind of hit or miss for me personally, but it's always good to see somebody that has an appreciation for the series get to work on it. So it's probably like a dream for him, and get to work with Utada, who's a great singer. And I mean, I know statewide she's not as big as she is over in Japan, but it's pretty awesome to see. Kingdom Hearts series debuted back in 2002, has remained a favorite among RPG fans, I think. Has sold over 25 million units worldwide throughout the series. The next one, Kingdom Hearts 3, like I said, comes out January 25th on PS4, Xbox One. Features some new characters in Disney movies for the first time being shown, such as Frozen, Toy Story, Big Hero 6, set after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. It kind of continues on with Sora and his gang in the search for the 7 Guardians of Light to kind of take care of that story and possibly wrap up which may be the last entry we see in the Kingdom Hearts series. Also noted, the voice cast news has been announced a little bit. Square Enix did confirm that Indina Menzel, Kristen Bell, and Josh Gad will all be reprising their roles as Elsa, Anna, and Olaf in the game. Zachary Levi will once again voice Flynn Rider from Tangled. And the surprising one here is Haley Joel Osment will still return as Sora. All these years later, he's still going to voice Sora, which is interesting to see.
So, have you, speaking of Haley Joel Osment, sorry to derail you slightly, NBA 2K19 that just released, their single-player story mode has, it's an acted out kind of thing. And it has the guy who plays, I called him Hawkman, but it's not Hawkman from Captain America.
Hawkeye?
Not Hawkeye.
Falcon. Anthony Mackie.
Yeah. So Anthony Mackie's in it and a couple other guys. So Haley Joel Osment plays a character in that
really NBA
2K19 thing. And he does not look like he does in The Sixth Sense anymore.
No, he doesn't.
He's a little, at least in the game, he's a little bit bigger.
No, he is.
A beard,
a little bit beardier.
Yeah.
But you can definitely tell it's Haley Joel Osment. So I thought that was kind of a cool. Maybe NBA 2K and is going to be a world in Kingdom Hearts 3.
I hope not. I did see Haley recently, I guess a couple years ago. He was in Tusk, Kevin Smith's movie. He was in Tusk as a podcaster for a little bit there too. So we got to see him there, and I saw him then too. I was like, wow, he does not look like that kid anymore. But I just find it interesting. He's still voicing a teenage Sora in this series all these years later. But it's cool to see him staying consistent with that, and he's still voicing it, which is kind of cool. So the question for you guys here, Seth, you being the PlayStation guy here, if you will, amongst the staff, do you have a history with the Kingdom Hearts series? Are you excited for 3? Kind of tell me your story, if any, with you in Kingdom Hearts.
I've never played Kingdom Hearts. I've never played a Final Fantasy game. That's, pretty, as you say, someone who's had every PlayStation, obviously a pretty big hole there. I've thought about jumping into 1 and 2 as the package deal came out on PS4, and I think it's something my kids would enjoy watching me play, especially Kingdom Hearts 3. It has Frozen and Toy Story and Big Hero 6 and all these things. I did play that Kingdom Hearts 3D. I downloaded, maybe there was a demo on 3DS.
I think so, yeah.
And I didn't care for it, but my guess is that doesn't, if I played it on my big screen, the normal, one of the core games, I might think differently. So I think about giving it a try, but I just haven't yet.
That's fair. It's the 3D iterations of it definitely didn't translate as well. It's still the action RPG kind of hack and slash with some spells and defensive stuff they're going for. So I mean, the mechanics are similar, but the way it effectiveness is much better on the console systems there. So Josh, how about you? Any history here at Kingdom Hearts or any excitement for the next one?
Yeah, I played Kingdom Hearts 1 way back when it first came out. I quite enjoyed it. The combat is nice. It's a nice change from the RPG combat system. I think it eventually just spawned all these other games to use the same combat system, which is like the hack and slash element to RPG game, which is redundant RPG game. Just RPG. I did. The music was fantastic. I love the voice acting. I think if I played the new ones, I would enjoy it more now because I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 2 because I got stuck in Kingdom Hearts 1. I don't remember where, but I know it involved a gummy ship.
Well, that's how you traveled in between each of the worlds.
Yeah, and I was like at the Hercules world and I couldn't get in, but that's where they were telling me I had to go, and I missed something somewhere, and I kept going back and forth to like Alice in Wonderland trying to find something I was missing or what. It wasn't very clear to me at the time what I was missing. And when something like that, whether it's me being like aloof and not seeing something or the game not describing it well enough to me, either way, I wasn't clear on that. Like I didn't know if it was me or the game. And it takes me right out of the game as soon as that happens.
Sure.
So unfortunately, like the appeal is totally there. I've tried the 3DS ones. I had one of the ones on the regular DS. I think I had a PSP one. Does that sound right?
Yeah, they did like 2 or 3 on PSP. Yeah.
So I had a PSP one, like Chains of something or other.
Chain of Memories.
Chains of Olympus.
So yeah, whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the theme. So I was really, really hoping for them to put the collection on the Xbox, only just because I spend most of my time on the Xbox. I wouldn't be opposed to playing it on the PlayStation. Because like Seth with his kids, I think my wife would enjoy watching me play it too, because she's a big Disney file. So I might still do that. I have plenty of time before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. If you don't count all the games releasing between now and when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out.
Yeah, no big deal. Plenty of time.
But if it's a game that I can like start with her and she can play and I can do stuff while she can watch, like if we can go back and forth, I think that we might try doing that.
I'm sure that you don't need to pay that close attention to the story.
Don't get me started.
He was just talking about going.
I know, and that's the bad point. Is the story of Kingdom Hearts is very convoluted. So I've been a lifelong, since its inception, fan of the Kingdom Hearts series myself, playing the core based ones. I didn't play the ones that were on the PSP, but all of those spin-off ones they considered never really to be part of the core storyline, if you will. It's kind of just been Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are the ones you really need to know, and everything else, bits and pieces are okay. So I'm excited for 3. It's been a long time for me though, and that's kind of where I'm a little soured on it a little bit. I'm still very excited. I'm obviously a huge Disney fan. You see behind me. Disney's my thing. So I was always right from the start was like, all right, you take a Final Fantasy, awesome, and then you throw a Mickey Mouse in it, awesome. Let me see how this works. And playing the first one, I was a fan instantly. The crossover, the meshing of everything that they did there, I thought they did really well, and you could tell it was a passion project for the people that worked on that game. Like they actually cared about these characters, both from the Final Fantasy world and from Disney World. So I'm excited for this one. I've played 1 and 2 back on PS2 era. I have not played the remasters, even though I really, really should. It's just time is always a factor, as Josh mentioned. There's always something else coming out. So in my head, I'm like, well, I've already played them. I beat them. I'd love to go back and do it again. But in my head, I also don't want to be burnt out of them by the time I get my hands on 3, because they're not short games. They are long games. They are old school Final Fantasy long games. Like that's the thing for them. But yeah, I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to see what this song ends up being, because like I said, Skrillex can be hit or miss for me. But the theme songs and the music, the soundtracks for Kingdom Hearts has always been really solid. A mashing of different things there too. So I'm excited to see what happens in Kingdom Hearts 3. But yeah, that's it for that segment. So guys, I think it's time to check out the rest of the news of the week.
This week in Play Some Video Game News.
First up, wouldn't be an episode with Fortnite news if I didn't talk about it, because no other show on PSVG talks about Fortnite. So Fortnite Season 6, as I mentioned earlier, is here, and it brought on a whole bunch of unexpected changes. So last season, with the whole almost pseudo time traveling. The fact that the map changed to represent different time periods, Viking ships and deserts and all these other things. This season has kind of been a mystery leading up into it. The only hint we had was this mysterious cube, which I talked about previously, that had been making its way around the map of Fortnite, causing this anti-gravity field where you can kind of jump high and super slow. Well, that cube eventually ended up in the lake, transforming the entire lake into basically a giant trampoline, if you will. Well, at the start of this season, the cube now took off. And now the whole center of the lake, which had an island and a house and these platforms, now is suspended above the map. And you could still get there by basically jumping into this vortex and getting shot up in the air. So it now has added a different tier dynamic to the map itself, as well as the ever-changing map of Fortnite as it is. There's floating islands, as I mentioned, giant castles, and they kind of took in a Halloween theme to this. It's a very dark event because they go on for months at a time, so it makes sense. But here's some of the things to look at that have changed. This is a new feature here called Shadow Stones. We've seen the different rocks in different seasons where you can take them and you can kind of jump the anti-gravity stones. This one here brings a different element. You pick up this rock here. It's kind of like a glowing purplish rock. And once you do, you actually turn into a ghost, a phantom, if you will. And if you do not move, you are completely invisible. So players can literally run right through you, run right by you. They have no idea where you are if you're not moving. If you move, they might see kind of the map or the area kind of distort a little bit. They don't actually see you. They just see some distortion. So they can take shots at you and you are vulnerable. But if you're able to run from them, you can actually phase through items like Kitty Pryde and X-Men. You can go through right through walls and houses and stuff like that. It is a temporary effect that lasts about 45 seconds. But it's a pretty cool, different dynamic now you have to worry about. So people obviously have shields, they have traps, stuff like that. Now you have this whole thing like, well, this person can disappear in the blink of an eye and just reappear and take me out kind of deal. So brings in a new level of difficulty there. The map, like I said, it changed. We have the floating islands. There's corrupted areas, which are the anti-gravity spaces. The haunted castle, there's like cornfields now. So it's always changing. And as the season goes on, every week they kind of make adjustments to the map too. So it's never really there all the way. But the biggest feature that they've changed, and a lot of people are excited about this, and I think this may be what gets Kyle into Fortnite. You can have a pet. That's right. You can strap your dog right to your back and jump out of the battle bus. I don't know. People are really excited for it. I thought it was neat until I realized what it was. And I was like, oh, it's just backpacks, because we already have backpacks. They just have this animal in the back now. So you can get a puppy, a chameleon, and a dragon are the different pets there. And there's different customizations you can have to them as you unlock throughout the seasons for the Battle Pass. But one life-altering, I guess you could say, feature that they should have had all along, they never did, was being able to map your buttons. So one of the frustrating things if you play Fortnite and you play on different consoles is the way you build and the way you do things is actually completely different. Ironically enough, I've always thought the control scheme for the Switch was the easiest way to build things in rapid succession. The Xbox one actually didn't like, where it's like, hey, you press this bumper to build this type of structure, this bumper to build this bumper, this trigger for this. Like it was confusing. I ended up building the wrong things. Now you can finally customize your controller and set the buttons up the way you want it to make you more proficient at it. The other thing they added is for any players playing on keyboard and mouse on PlayStation, they're going to now pair you up with the PC players to make it fair. Because I've played numerous times on like Xbox, stuff like that, and been like, well, this person's way quicker at building and stuff like that. How is this possible with the controller? It's because they're playing with the keyboard and mouse and these different things there. So they're finally fixing that. So if it detects keyboard and mouse, it's going to lump you on PC players to make things a little bit fair for players out there. And they've also, of course, rebalanced the different weapons and stuff as they always do, kind of make certain things stronger and kind of adjust the damage levels of certain things that they go through. So yeah, pretty fun things coming to Fortnite there. Just kind of fit in with the Halloween theme. I know neither of you are big on Fortnite, but I did want to at least mention these changes that have come through here.
As of right now, Shadow Stones are disabled, just so you know.
No, they're back up.
Are they back up?
Yeah, I played like an hour ago. That story was from yesterday that they were taken down.
2 hours ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, I played right before we did it and they were there, so I don't know. But yeah, there was an issue with the stones where people were able to stay permanently invisible, therefore never being able to be found, and you could most likely win. So they've had glitches like that before. They've had to disable things that kind of work that way through it, but it's all good. All right, so let's talk about the air quotes free games from PlayStation and Xbox coming up for October. PlayStation Plus titles were announced. We're getting Friday the 13th and Laser League on PS4. But that's not all. because of cross-buy, we also get Master Reboot, which is on the PS3, The Bridge, which is PS3, but it's cross-buy with PS4 and Vita. Rocket Birds 2 Evolution, it's PS Vita game, cross-buy with PS4 as well. 2064 Read-Only Memories, PS Vita, cross-buy with PS4. And you can also download Here They Live for PlayStation VR and a PlayLink game, Knowledge is Power, which has been free, I think, for a while, actually, because I already had it. So it's on there, too. Not quite overall for me as strong a month as last month, but a decent lineup here. So let's jump and see what Xbox has before we get you guys feedback on here. So Xbox games with gold for October. We're getting, let's see here. We're getting, yeah, this is weird. Victor Vran Overkill Edition, which I think I quote unquote said, "What the heck is this game? I've never even heard of it." Apparently, it's like a Diablo kind of esque clone type game, which Josh, I think you're the one who told me had okay reviews actually.
77 on Metacritic. So
yeah, I mean that's better than I would have thought. So and Overcooked, the first one. So if anybody hasn't played that, that is I can't recommend that game enough. That is a fantastic game, especially if you're playing with others. A lot of fun there too. On the Xbox 360 front, you'll get Stuntman Ignition, as well as Hitman Blood Money for free. So ironically enough, I think the Xbox 360 games are a little more enticing than the Xbox One games that they're releasing. But then lastly, the October Game Pass editions have been announced, and these are pretty cool, I think, for the most part here. Obviously, we know we're getting Forza Horizon 4 at launch on October 2nd, for those who didn't get the deluxe whatever edition. But also being added in October, be Wolfenstein The New Order, Metro 2033 Redo, Westerado Double Barreled, Lego Indiana Jones, Shantae Half Genie Hero, and Split Second. So some of these games are Xbox 360 games, clearly, which means they're backwards compatible for Xbox One, which is great news for those people who want to get a little bit of upscaling and be able to revisit these things there too. So pretty cool titles overall. Like I said, I think for me personally, I'm more excited for the Xbox Game Pass games than I am the games with gold. I did want to buy Shantae Half Genie Hero, and I'm glad because now I won't have to. I'll just be able to play that for free. Forza, obviously, I'm excited for, as everybody else. Split Second is a great racing game that was missed by a lot of people, but that game is a lot of fun.
Yes,
Wolfenstein The New Order, great game as well. I have not played Metro or Lego Indiana Jones. I don't really care for either. But overall, I think strong offerings, and I am excited, despite all the controversy around it, kind of excited to check out Friday the 13th. I want to just see how that is and how that works over for me there. But Seth, what are you thinking on PlayStation's offerings for PS Plus this month?
All right. So, like you said, they're not as strong as September, being Destiny 2 and God of War 3. Yeah. But I know Friday the 13th has been kind of a cult hit. It's not something that I'll probably get into, but that's neat, and it makes sense for October. Laser League, I've thought looks really cool, and I thought about it's actually a pretty recent game. It came out sometime this summer during the PlayStation like indie, summer sale event or whatever. Mm-hmm. And actually, I believe Laser League is on Xbox Game Pass already.
Yep, it is.
So I thought that looked kind of fun. I might hop into that. Of course, a game like that, both of those games really live or die based on people actually playing them online. And I feel like they're pretty, Friday the 13th, I could see having an audience, but Laser League, I don't know. I'll jump into it. I'm also excited for 2064 read-only memories. As kind of an old school adventure game kind of story thing. I would expect this to be a Kevin game, actually. If you've looked into that. So that looks pretty good. I don't really have any comment about the Xbox games with gold games. Obviously, Overcooked is a great game. I would have thought that it might have been good for it to be free like 2 months ago before Overcooked 2 came out. But I guess it doesn't, whatever.
It'll still help boost sales, I think, for people.
And then the Game Pass games, and I've said it frequently, in the next generation of consoles, if the PlayStation console doesn't have, PS Now allows game downloads. Mm-hmm. But if PS Now moving forward doesn't become more affordable and also include newish games. I'm not saying Forza Horizon 4 being on Game Pass, that's pretty bonkers. I mean, the game, I would say the other game, Sea of Thieves, and was there another?
State of Decay was the other big one.
State of Decay were the other big ones. I heard big stuff about them, from the Xbox people, but the conversation dropped off.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Those games weren't. I'm not saying there weren't good games or whatever, but they weren't. They didn't get the zeitgeist. But Forza Horizon 4 is a big game, and that that's pretty cool that's releasing. So I'm not saying like PS Now has to release Gran Turismo 7 and Last of Us 2 day one, but if they came out and said 6 months after launch date, the new PlayStation exclusives will release on this service, I would absolutely. That'd be easy for me to stay on PlayStation. But if moving forward, Xbox Game Pass keeps this quality for Xbox, whatever the next one is, I mean, it'll be a pretty easy decision to switch over, and because you can just subscribe to Game Pass and be good.
Yeah, I've really been thinking about that myself too. The future there, and even sometimes here considering PlayStation still has some exclusives coming down the pike that I'm still super interested in. But I've thought about it a few times. I'm like, I could just get rid of everything and be fine with an Xbox and a Game Pass subscription, and I will always have stuff to play, and I'd be okay with it. I think so. Yeah.
The other game, I love Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite character, my favorite movie character, and I like the Lego game, so I'd be in on that. And then Westerado, which I'd never heard of before. If there were ever a game, if Red Dead Redemption 2 wasn't coming out soon, Westerado might get me to buy an Xbox. I might be being slightly hyperbolic there, but I did look into it. It looks, it's my kind of game.
Oh, definitely.
So, anyway, sorry I monopolized all of that.
No, it's fine. So, Josh, what do you think of your offerings here? I know you've bought Friday the 13th, but have yet to play it, as you mentioned on board with VG not that long ago. So what are your thoughts of the offerings coming to PlayStation Plus, and probably more so with games with Gold and Game Pass?
So, yeah, for PS Plus, I mean, I do have Friday the 13th, so if more people play it on PlayStation, I mean, I'll download it for sure if we can get people playing matches. Because for Xbox, I think Coach was like, get it. So that's like me and Coach and Kyle have it. So it's not great for a campy horror game. Laser League, I did download. I never played it. It looks really cool. It's like a Tron fighting game, but you're not in a light cycle. So the theme looks cool, and the strategy is definitely interesting. As far as the games are gold for Xbox, I'm not loving on them, really. I'll play Overcooked with my wife because we never played the first one, but I have it on the Switch, so I don't even know if I'll play it on the Xbox because I already have it.
Right.
And Kyle bought Overcooked 2 on the PlayStation, so I have that through GameShare, so I technically have both of the games. But I don't know if my marriage can withstand Overcooked.
With two people, I will say, having experience playing with 2 to 4 people, 2 people, it's not so bad. More than that, it gets to be kind of a hot mess. But that's true. Yeah. Yeah, she'll beat you up.
Victor Vran, unfortunately, it really just reminds me of the bad Van Helsing games that Xbox Games of Gold threw at us the past few Games of Gold outings. I'm just I don't know, and I think I have Hitman still from a previous purchase or Games of Gold. I don't even know, but I know I have this one. So I'm not really loving the Games of Gold, but I mean, Game Pass is insane, and I think Seth kind of hit the nail on the head there. Sea of Thieves was a big letdown. But it was huge for Game Pass.
Definitely.
Is that because it didn't maintain its notoriety, people just kind of forgot about Game Pass, so to speak. Obviously, people still hear about it. State of Decay has its own little cult following. and it's doing well. If
Yeah.
you look at least what they reported for sales, it did very well. But who knows what's going on with that. But yeah, Forza Horizon 4 is the reason to have Game Pass. And that's not to overshadow Split Second. Disney's first racing game under Black Rock Studios. Also, the game that would cripple Disney Interactive and stop making big games. But I feel like it's from, if I remember correctly, it was like the first game after Burnout ended with a bunch of the Burnout developers.
Yes, it was very similar. There's a lot of similarities to Burnout with a lot of the accidents going to slow motion, stuff like that. But there's also like some game show-esque like set stunt pieces that you had to do
and
in
the
the game
levels
itself.
were moving constantly around you, so it added stuff like that. And it's Black Rock Studios made Pure before that, and that was the ATV racing game that was very popular. And I'm excited to try all the other games, to be honest with you. I'll check out Westerado. It doesn't look like my style of game, but I'll try it.
Right, you have it. It's like, why would you at least try it? No, I'm with you. The Game Pass has been great because it's gotten me to try things I probably never would have spent money on. But I was like, but hey, it's here. I might as well give it a shot kind of deal, which, you know, this time of year, it's tough for gamers if you have any games because you got so much getting thrown out at you. But like during spring, summer of next year, that's probably a great time for people who have Game Pass to go through Xbox's library and see what's going on there, because I don't think, at least as far as we know, there's nothing really coming out that's really tearing up they'll be, you know, dictating everybody's time on Xbox exclusive to them during that period. So
right,
be a good time to see.
And to reference Forza again, the other great benefit of Game Pass is discounts on the DLC as well. So even though I'm not buying the game while it's on Game Pass, I can still buy that DLC at a discounted price, which I know it's weird buying DLC for a game you don't own.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
I totally get that. But I think it's an awesome thing you can do, and you can buy the game discounted too. And something that isn't covered in all this, that kind of like stealth dropped like last week. Battlefield 1 is on EA Access for free. They put out the season pass for free the other day.
Oh, really?
So you can go get the premium pass for Battlefield 1 for free. And so I already have Battlefield 1 installed on my Xbox through EA Access. So I can I put that thing through. So now I get the premium pass. If you read through the comments, everyone's like, I want my $50 back. Why did I invest $50? I get it, but the game is 3 years old now.
Right. That's what I mean. Like it's been a while. Get over it. Yeah, it's still.
I think it's really cool, and EA didn't promote that enough, I don't think. But it's definitely, if you're listening and you have EA Access, just download it to have it. Like, it's free. You don't even need EA Access to download the premium pass. You just need the game.
Right.
So you can always have that premium pass.
Makes sense. Yeah. All right, so back to popular demand. Apparently you people like it when I'm angry, so we've brought it back. That's right, everybody. It's time for Kevin Hates Everything.
He used to enjoy games like Mario and Zelda. He used to like Bethesda and the New England Patriots. He used to love to visit the Nintendo Shack. But now, Kevin hates everything.
This week, guys, I hate Forza. But before we get to that, I want to talk. It's coming out. Literally, everybody is talking about this game. It's on the tip of everyone's tongues, much like Fortnite was over the summer. Everybody's talking about the game. We've talked about it numerous times just in the single show. So, kind of final thoughts from you guys before we get to the launch of Forza. We'll go to you, Seth, first. Obviously, I know you don't have an Xbox, but you are the racing guy, I think, of all of PSVG. Hell, of all of Make Us Better, to be honest. You play more racing games than anybody else, and you have an appreciation for the realistic ones, you know, the European, the F1 model ones. You've kind of done it all. So what are your thoughts? The way it's shaping up. How does it look to you? Is it something that like you wish you could get your hands on, et cetera, et cetera? What are you looking forward to seeing Forza do coming up in a week?
So typically and really you say I'm the big racing guy. Really, it was about a year ago when GT Sport released, and that was really my first foray into racing games in a long time, and that just jump started everything. I mean, it's been a year long where I've played just about any racing game that looked halfway decent, and I've through this year of discovery, I've figured out that I really like the more realistic games. I love GT Sport and the driving in it. I love F1. I like NASCAR Heat. It doesn't drive as well as the other ones, but I like driving on real tracks with real cars. So like right now I downloaded the Crew 2, and I'm enjoying that quite a bit. I like that it's real world locations, and obviously the cars are real. So when I look at Forza Horizon 4, I think of the same thing with the Crew 2, and I'm fully supportive that the Forza Horizon is probably better than the Crew 2. But from that sort of vein, I would rather drive on a track multiplayer racing than drive through the English countryside. Even though it looks like a ton of fun. I've watched some of the opening gameplay. The game looks awesome, and it just looks great. So, but it's not the kind of game I'm more into. I would be more into Forza Motorsport 8 next year. I'm more into the motorsport kind of series than Horizon, but I'm glad it's great to see a lot of people getting into what is kind of a niche genre right now. So and you really, Kevin, I know you have red hair, you're not Italian, but just try and say Forza. Try and embrace your Italianness.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So Josh,
Hi.
before I go off, what's
It's
your
me.
thoughts? What are you exciting? Yeah, what are you feeling about Forza coming up in the next few days?
Forza Horizon.
So listen, Forza Horizon. It's a game. It's for it's a racing game for non-racing game. It's for non-racing game fans. I like a racing game, but most of the games I liked were like Need for Speed Pursuit, Burnout, games Split Second, like games like this. Cruising USA, for crying out loud. So I played Forza when it came out originally, Forza Motorsport.
Mm-hmm.
It was not for me because it was very much Gran Turismo. It was simulation driving, simulation racing. And that wasn't like I did Gran Turismo on PlayStation with my buddy and watching my brother try to get A-class license, B-class license. I'm like, what are you doing? You have to do a 300 lap race now? No, thank you. So, and you have to do it in real time. I'm like, oh my God.
That's what makes it fun.
So I couldn't get behind that. So I skipped the Horizon games when they came out until someone turned me on to 3. You can still play Horizon games and be a gearhead, if you will, because you can get into all the car stuff that you want. You can change your car, you can soup it up, but the best part of Horizon series is it's an open world, do anything, pick a car, it runs just fine as soon as you get in it. And I don't know, for me, maybe I'm like a closeted EDM fan because like I love the music in the Horizon series. I'll turn that way up. I know people turn it off on some of the games, but like I boost bass arena when I'm driving. It's all the way up.
Some Skrillex again?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But it's the game for non-racing game fans, and we keep trying to get Kyle to try it. It's at the point that Kyle's going to try it, and he's not going to like it for the same reason Kevin doesn't like Undertale, which is fine. We don't all have to play every game that's out there except Spider-Man. Everyone should play Spider-Man. I'm just over the hill on this game and over the moon. And I just watched Kotaku's hilarious 22-minute review about whoever this guy is. He has a great vocabulary. He's very funny. I don't know his name. He always says it and I forget it. But he just does this hilarious review. He even talks about Gran Turismo while he's reviewing Horizon, and he talks about how much he loves Gran Turismo. It's a very funny review, but just to watch him play and him go into like the brick walls and all the bricks like shoot off as the car's going through them, and look at the map full of things you can do. And now in Horizon 4, you can take away a bunch of the stuff, so it's not so busy. If you just want to find a certain type of race, you can have the legend just show those types of races. And you can unlock fast travel if you find 50 fast travel signs.
It's a racing game. It's all fast travel.
He's like, who would want to do fast travel in this game? You just drive to where you want to go. But that's what I love. Like, it has a GPS. It will tell you which way to go on the road. But if you see the checkpoint in the distance, you can just drive straight at that checkpoint, over mountains, catching air, through, crashing into lakes, whatever you want. But you can go whatever way you want. And it's just, as much as I like linear story games, I'm total opposite on this game. I love to be able to go wherever the heck I want. And it just feels, I don't know. I could do my own podcast on Forza and just talk for hours. No one would listen. But I can't wait to get my hands on it. I haven't even played the game yet, and I'm already glowing over the things you can do.
Well, all I heard there was that Forza Horizon 4 is the Breath of the Wild of Xbox One.
Yeah, but you don't.
You can go everywhere.
Your wheels don't fall off if you use them too much.
You don't know that. You haven't played the game yet. It is an RPG.
Right. In Horizon 3, at least.
All right. Here we go, guys. Number one, I will say, Kyle, you definitely should play Forza Horizon 3. Or just jump right into 4, whatever, that's fine. Because I'm not a racing person, but I do enjoy these games. So that being said, I have an appreciation for it. Is it game of the year for somebody like me? No, not even close. But it's a good game, I think. But that's just me. So let's get into why I hate this now, guys. Number one, the timing of this game's release. Okay. We're in the busiest gaming season of the year with these huge blockbuster titles and all this stuff coming out here. And you're going to throw this game out here, which, okay, there's a air quotes story to be said, but it's just a game that you can just sink in hundreds of hours doing absolutely nothing and getting nowhere. And it's just a distraction from maybe games that you actually want to play that have a good story, like Spider-Man. Why is it free? I think it's great that it's free. I think it's great that it's on Game Pass. But I will say is now, if you're buying this game, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Buy Game Pass. You're an idiot.
I don't agree with him.
Game Pass. You're an idiot if you buy this game, basically. Why would you ever pay the $10? If you like the game, great. You still keep that subscription because Game Pass has all these other games on here. If you don't like the game, then fine. You only spent $10. You buy the game for $60, you trade into GameStop, you're going to get $30 back and you're out $30 for something you didn't like. Game Pass, you'd be out $10. So don't buy the game, buy Game Pass, play the game. Next, it's the racing game for gamers who don't like racing. Okay. You both have kind of mentioned that, and I've heard other people mention that as well. Guys, if I want to play Assassin's Creed and open a map with 1,000 freaking things on the map to do, I will play Assassin's Creed. You know why? Because it's going to have a story. It will have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Would you say Assassin's Creed is the assassination game for people who don't like assassinating people?
Yes, for not assassins. but it's like, okay, so yes, it's great that there's so many things to do in Forza. You can do all these things. Okay, sure, it's great. I will drive in these lakes under bridges to hit signs for some reason. Why? I don't know. So I can get another car that I'm not going to use anyway, because I'm going to use the one car I like throughout this entire game based on the season. Whatever. Okay, fine. What does this say for Xbox in general? Forza is arguably the biggest title Microsoft has to release this year. And it's a freaking racing game, okay? You could be over on PlayStation playing masterpieces like God of War or Spider-Man, or even, dare I say this, guys, the Nintendo Switch. You could play something like Octopath Traveler, which has hundreds of hours of great story writing, dialogue, and innovative gameplay. Or you could play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Or you could play
Smash Brothers.
You have all this stuff here, and Microsoft's like, oh yeah, well, we got a racing game that is mildly different than the last racing game we did. Enjoy. Oh, by the way, guys, it's free. So if you buy it, you're an idiot. Okay, and lastly, guys, listen to every podcast under the sun this past week talk about Forza. I just made my own word here. Forza Horizon. Jesus. Okay, it's Forza. Not Forza. There is no T in that word at all. Whether you're Italian or not,
Italiano.
There's no T.
Italiano.
It's still spelled the same way, Seth.
There's no T in pizza.
What happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And then the true meaning of Christmas came through, and the Grinch found the strength of 10 Grinches, plus 2.
So, that being said, let's get out of here before I have an aneurysm or something from listening to Forza
Horizon.
I'll give it to you. You got me there. You got me there, Seth. You got me. You got me good. I won't mute your mic like Donnie does. I'm not a sore loser. You got me on that point. But everything else I said was valid. So anyway, if you want to hear Seth talk about things not related to Forza, Seth, where can people find you and what are you up to?
On PSXP, at PSXP Podcast on Twitter. We have sort of stepped up the production of PSXP the past couple weeks here. We will be releasing content every week. We're going to do a full show every other week. And then in the off weeks, we're going to do something shorter. Although this next week is a full-length Spider-Man spoiler cast. But PSXP will be releasing content every week moving forward. And looking forward to it.
Awesome. As am I. So, Josh, where can people find you and what you are up to, sir?
You can find me on Twitter at Josh Bones. You can find me on Instagram at Bellini_Borbone. If you want to, you don't really have to find me there unless you want to see pictures of my kid. That's pretty much my Instagram. And of course, at Board with VG on all of the social medias and email. We are closing in on our 1-year anniversary on Board with Video Games in about 2 weeks. We're really excited about the next coming year. We're obviously excited about the separate feeds as well because, well, at least for us, it's going to give us more sight, or it's going to give board game companies a better sightline to us and an easier way to get to us. So we're excited for that. And we have a review coming out soon that was given to us by our lovely hosts for the evening. I talked about it a little bit before. I won't get into it anymore. I'm still a little salty on that game. Yeah. Josh hates everything Kevin gives him. And yeah, that's about it for me.
All right, fair enough. You can follow the show, of course, at PSVG on Twitter. Subscribe to us at twitch.tv/PSVG as well. All of our gaming streams and stuff seem to end up on there before they hit the YouTube. So if you want to jump into that fun, check it out. I'm going to go back to streaming more regularly now that I'm done with Spider-Man. Didn't stream that only because so many other people on PSVG were playing and streaming it that I didn't feel there was a need for it. So I will go back to doing that on the regular there going forward. And once again, if you're interested in supporting us and the cause, as well as other great shows such as Nintendo Nostalgia, Warp Whistle Podcast, and the Sean Capri collection of podcasts, head on over to patreon.com/make us better. For even $1 can go a long way in making things happen, as we demonstrated last week. And the newest goal that's up there now is if we hit the 450 mark, Sean Capri will quit his day job, if you will, and once a month he will take a vacation day and stream for 8+ hours. So if you want to see that, go for it. Patreon.com/make us better. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend, but more importantly, we ask as always that you never stop gaming.